So firstly, I want to thank you for spending some time to coming out here, basking in the sun with me to learn Chinese. Because there's the challenge that I told you about that's coming up that I think I need a little bit of help. 你好，我是王嘉靖 OKJ。明年我会第一次考欧水准华文 ，and I was already very grateful that you helped me the very first time round. For the audience who don't know this, Nicholas here reached out to me on TikTok. This is like before chapter 10. Chapter 1. You see, back when I was in secondary school, I dropped out of my Chinese subject the moment I was given a chance. And I did so without hesitation. So first up is to thank you for some of the early 软件, because you're the person that introduced me to Duolingo, to Do Chinese, to Pleco. Because it's if I didn't have Pleco and I kept relying on Google Translate, I think this entire journey would be very different. Just like how you reached out to me on TikTok, a journalist recently also reached out to me on TikTok because they feel like the audience may be interested in the journey I'm on, and also that's why I feel like being able to talk to you today would be able to help 我自己的信心哦。So you've seen the questions.
Yeah.
What do you think about the questions?
I think it's reasonable. I don't think it's super difficult. But it might be a bit challenging at some points when you feel like you don't know how to really express yourself.
I just pause a little moment. Do you want to check whether your exposure adjusted? Yeah, cool. So how do you find your voice? Because you are multilingual, which is one of the things that we first learned about you.
Yeah, there's differences in my voice, in each language, seeing the picture in your head. As long as you know what you're feeling, and then you can connect to whatever you've learned that relates to the feelings or the thoughts that you have. I think that's more important than how accurate your translation is.
This picture thing that you are describing, could you just elaborate it a little bit more in terms of what that actually means?
When I learn words, I don't memorize it based on a translation to English or another language. Most of the time, I would relate it to a sort of image in my head that relates to whatever word I'm learning. That really helps in the process of acquiring vocab. And in turn, you don't have to think of the translation when you try and come up with the sentence in whatever target language you're learning.
Do you think at this time, because we're going to do, it is a Chinese interview with a journalist after all, that we switch 口音？
好啊。
OK， 它其实大概有10到20个问答题。那我在想的就是我把我的电话交给你，然后你看有哪一个是有趣的，那你就可以问我，这样这个主意好吧？
好。
好。
所以第一题就是，对你来说，中学时期学习华文是一种怎样的体验？为什么？
那如果我是坦白的说的话，我自己在学华文，其实不是说是一个快乐很尴尬，因为有时候我们就是要站起来读那个作业，可是因为我不会表达，我就在那边我是一个然后他最后讲放弃了，就叫我坐下来。所以在中3的时候，第一个星期，我们发现到就是我刚好我的课是一个很凶的老师，刚好他的第一个问题就是谁想要调去华文 B 课程？是在那时候我连想都没想，我直接举手就问那个 B 课程是在哪里？然后我就走掉了。然后2年，其实那个2年就会比较好过。那我现在我的表现怎么样？如果我们现在是在
不错啊，我觉得不错。
在这个时候，我想问你了，你刚才有说到你在用华语来想的时候，你是会看到很像一个照片。
我学词汇的时候，就会去背某一件图画。如果是动词的话，动词是verb， 我会想起某一个 GIF 来可以说是连接。
好像你几个月前我们第一次见面，你也是就是建议我不要用英文去想华文，可是如果你要想对的词 就去找一个照片还是找一个 GIF， 然后看了那个才看啊，那个是什么字？
对，
那个
你不要背那个翻译词。
哦，明白。因为翻译的时候就有，其实也是有很多困难，因为它有时候它的用词，有时候也是会完全不一样，还是有一些都不存在。
对，
好 ，OK， 我试一下，你选一个问题，然后我看我可以，这招是挺有用的嘛，所以我会来试一下。
OK， 你最大的收获是什么？
在这整个几个月的经验还有过程，最大的收获就是能跟新的人，还有认识的人沟通。很像我的爸爸有很多其实是一个很有知识的人，可是他对英文的语言不会说太好，所以现在我慢慢在学习华语了。我觉得我可以跟我爸爸沟通，那这样我们就可能也是多一个新的开始。因为虽然我们已经认识了大概30年，可是我们还可能有很多话题以前没有讲过，就是因为有这个语言的关系。那这样怎么样呢？我这样答的有没有达到？
最重要的是你觉得满意吗？
我觉得满意啊。
那就够了。
哦，好，还有多几天我才有这个记者来访问。你觉得我应该要怎么去练习跟准备呢？
你应该去练习表达自己想说的，就是你看到的这些问题，你就想一想你会怎样说，你会怎样表达。那如果你不懂某个词汇啊，还是你觉得有一些词汇会对你有帮助的话，你可以就是画出一个辅导词的表。
什么是辅导词哦？
Like helping me。
哦，
就是你去访问的时候，你可以带这个表去，然后你可以参考。
好，那这样的话，我就会去多多练习。过几天还有一点时间的话，我也是真的希望我能打电话给你，然后练习一下来表达我自己跟那个记者，还有那个在访问的过程中。好吧，那我们在今天的集就是到此为止先，然后我们改次再见喽。
好，
好 ，OK。哇，你要讲拜啊？等下你可以这样讲拜。